You guys, Josh Sathiad here in Singapore, back on it on my Not Out podcast. Really, really excited because there's so much going on. There's so much to discuss. And of course, I got to pick one topic, y'all, for real. Anyway, I want to talk about window shopping for success because I think a lot of what we're doing is window shopping. We're looking at what people are posting on Instagram, what their lives look like, what their lifestyle be like, what are they promoting, what are they, what products are they using, where are they going to shop, where are they getting their hair done, their nails done, all that stuff. And I think it's really important that we think about those things because as much as they post on this online album kind of platform, I don't know if they're actually fulfilled with their lives or not, if they're not actually happy or not. I've seen so many celebrities, local celebrities and, Hollywood famous celebrities, whatever, people that are putting up this nice front that they've got it all handled. Once in a while, they show you that one single tear running down their face. Like, yeah, I break down sometimes too, but I want to know on a daily basis, do they have the kind of fulfillment that I'm looking for? Because I was taught recently, okay? Because no one taught me this when I was younger. I learned recently that I should not be asking for advice from people who don't have what I want. Now, on the surface, they may look successful. They may have the car, the house, the money, the paycheck. They have the money that gives them the opportunities, but are they actually fulfilled on a daily basis? Do they go to sleep happy at night? That's what I want to know, because that's what I want. I don't care about the money so much. I mean, some money would be nice, okay? But I'm more concerned about the quality of their life. So here's what I'm saying, right? A lot of people will go to seminars. They surround themselves with people that are smarter than they are. I get that. People say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I get that. It pissed me off when I looked at my life back in the day and I was like, yo, the top 5 people I spend my life with is my husband and his 2 baby mamas and my 2 stepkids. And I was like, I got to get some friends or something. And I tried and it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, but that's okay. That caused other problems and I had to get out of the whole situation entirely. But the point being that if you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, who are you spending time with? And if you're going to seminars and you're trying to, get into this space where you're growing and you're getting bigger and better and stronger and faster and smarter and all that stuff, that's great. But why are you doing that? What idea are you trying to bring into the material world? What definition of success are you looking for? Because sure, you can go to the seminars, but that doesn't mean you understand anything that you're listening to. Sure, you could read all the books because every answer to every problem that ever existed has been written down by somebody at some point. But reading the book doesn't guarantee you can fix your life either. I mean, otherwise, all of y'all would sit down and listen to this podcast and your lives would be magically fixed. But that's not how that works, is it? You got to implement, you got to change, you got to shift your focus. And for more than the 15, 20 minutes that you're listening to me, it's like that church syndrome. You walk into church, you got all these things on your mind. You sit down, you listen to the pastor, you let him, deliver this beautiful sermon and you get carried away with the ideas that he's talking about. Yeah, you can do it. And yes, God is supporting you. And there are so many reasons why you should keep going, start fighting the good fight, all of that. And you walk out the church, you shake hands with your pastor, you say hi to all the people that were, friends of yours that happened to be in church with you that day. And you step off that stoop, you walk to your car. And suddenly, that first phone call changes everything. Or the minute you look at your phone, it changes everything. You're back to square one, even though you had a dose of God for a moment. So I want to know, are we window shopping for success? Because yeah, okay, Will and Jada, I was like, yo, I want a marriage like them. And it's based on what they're showing us, obviously. And I'm really glad that they had the red table and all that stuff. I'm glad they're talking about all these things. But on a daily basis, when the cameras are off, do they speak to each other like that? Do they enjoy each other's company? Do they have fun? Do they laugh? I want to know if they laugh, y'all. And I'm not talking about, Will Smith putting on a skit and then y'all laugh at him. I'm talking about, do they enjoy each other? Do they have inside jokes? I want inside jokes, okay? I want the kind of friendships and close relationships with people where I can be sitting on one side of a room, they can be sitting on the other side of the room, and I can be listening to whatever's going on, and I can make eye contact with that person at a specific moment when something is said, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. But that doesn't happen by accident. That happens when you spend enough time with the other person to know who they are. That matters, and it happens, it comes to life, right? When you have taken the time to get to know the other person, putting down your expectations of what they should and shouldn't be, how they should and shouldn't act, and you get to know them for who they truly are. Because let's face it, a lot of us lie about who we are. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't. I do. Sometimes I listen and observe in order to figure out if I'm allowed to say the things that I want to say or if I got to keep that shit to myself. Because with all the spirituality and all this knowledge and wisdom, there was a little bit of dumb in me as well. There was a little bit of goofy and corny and gangsta in me as well. I want to cuss people out. I want to tell people off. I want to use foul language. It's actually something I do all the time. My mother hates. But I've tried to kind of calm it down a little bit on this podcast. But the point is, there are parts of me that I hide too. There are parts of me that I lie about too. Yes, I have this presence that can take up the space in a room, but I don't always use it. I usually come in quietly and I watch and I observe and I see who the players are in the room and I see who, what the characters are like and whether this would be a safe place for me to just let my hair down for a moment. And sometimes I test. But the point being that what I see on the screen and what I see of what they post on social media is not who they really are. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a celebrity, a local celebrity, right, post something online and it's a review or a promotion of some sort for some brand that sent them something for free. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they do that to me too. They send me stuff for free too. But I want to talk about the things that I do like about it. And quietly, I will tell them things that I don't like because I don't need to put that on blast for everybody else to see because the minute you say something negative, that's all they hear. That's all anyone hears. But I can tell in their faces, in their body positioning, their body language, that they do not enjoy doing any of these things, but they actually depend on the fact that these people want to sponsor them or promote them or use their image. And I truly, truly wish that I could tell if these people are truly happy or not, because if I'm going to look for a mentor, I want to talk to somebody that has what I want. And I mean like all of what I want. And if they don't have all of what I want, I will ask them for the aspect that they have conquered. And then I will find someone else to fill in the gaps of the other pieces that I need conquered as well. We sit here in seminars and we let these people stand up on stage and talk to us. And yes, for those 20 minutes, for that TED Talk, for that moment in time, oh my God, they got it all together. And yeah, you can happily be like, yo, I like the way she dresses, but is that how she dresses or is that how her stylist dresses her? Is she happy with those things? Does she feel good about that stuff? Does she feel good about her body? Because I want to feel good about my body. I want to own the fact that when I sit down, my abs disappear. They turn into rolls somehow. I don't know why that is, but it does. They turn into rolls. But if I stand up and if I stretch, oh my God, the abs look really nice. I feel good about that. I want to own the fact that I can be sexy and I can be just bummish all in the same time because I am multifaceted. I am not one-dimensional at all. I want to let people know that sometimes I'm on and sometimes I'm off. Sometimes I can hit every note when I sing, and sometimes, yeah, it doesn't work that way, and my daughter will run in and scream at me because I sound terrible. But I don't care, I'm having fun. I want for people to stop window shopping success. I want you to get to know people and ask them about their story. How did they get to where they were? Because right now you see the pretty parts. It's hard to see the wading through the mud and the scabs and the scars and the days that they felt like no one was listening. The days they cried by themselves because they had no one to ask for help, but they're helping the rest of the world. I want to know about those because then you become real to me. Then you become someone that I could actually look up to because you had the same kinds of struggles that I do. They might not be exact, but they're the same. You have your days where you're just not feeling it, and you have your days where you just want to go back to bed and start over again. You have those days when you feel on top of the world. But more than that, you're being real about your life. Because for all those people that have this perfect online presence, I get the impression you're trying more to convince yourself than you are trying to convince the rest of the world. I envy those people who can laugh at themselves or make a joke out of something. The people that can be silly on screen and not look polished every time and be okay with that. I have trouble with that. I want that, but I have trouble with it. It's a control issue for me. I want to know that Will Smith is human. He's not this perfect godlike image, that has the right thing to say every time. He has a strong moral, compass or whatever. I really thought that Will and Jada had the perfect marriage. And then I find out, you know what? No, they're just about as human as we are. And the first question that came out of my mouth when I found out that, she had admitted to stepping out on him was, what was it that you couldn't ask Will Smith for, that you had to go outside your marriage to go get? Which means there's a breakdown in communication. That means your friendship isn't as strong as it should have been. Which means something happened, and instead of go fix it, you stepped out. I deal with infidelity a lot. I deal with people who, take the easy way out. Yeah, it's easy to become like the best person in the room when you cut down the other people that are doing the same kind of work you are. When you point at all the flaws and the mistakes that they're making in order for you to look good. I mean, we know what a duff is, right? The dumb, ugly, fat friend. We use those people for us to look better, to elevate our own status. But what does it actually say about yourself? You're too scared to be yourself and let people judge for themselves whether they like you or not. But the thing is, whether they like you or not is not the issue. Do you like you? Are you comfortable being yourself? Why do we lie in the first place? We don't tell white lies to help other people feel better. Let's be honest about this. We tell white lies so we feel better about what we're telling them. We know something that we should reveal, and we feel bad about the fact that we know something that could hurt you. But instead of coming forward and letting them know, hey, I heard this, you might want to prepare yourself, we pretend like we never heard it, only for them to find out later that you did know the whole time. You never said anything. You were supposed to be your friend. You see what I'm getting at? We window shop for success all the time. I want to be like this person. I want to be like that person. I like the way J-Lo's body looks at the age of 50. I like the way Angela Bassett's body looks at the age of 60. But I also want to know the tough that they had to go through to be able to get there. How often are they pushed to working out? Do they have to push themselves, or does somebody come up and drag them out of bed and make them do what they need to do? And when they don't do it lovingly and happily, and they don't jump up at the opportunity to go work out or whatever, what is it that they're not enjoying? What is it that's holding them back, that doesn't allow them to be excited about the prospect of working on their body for a little while and then going on and doing something else? Does J-Lo cook for her kids? What kind of relationship does she have with her kids? I know she's very close to them. How does she manage, the big family that she has right now? How do they manage arguments? How do they talk through a disagreement? Because I can't imagine that A-Rod and J-Lo don't fight about some stuff sometimes. Those are the things I want to know. And those are the things we're not talking about, and it's driving me nuts a little bit. Yes, I want to be like the celebrity couple that doesn't end up in the news for a bunch of bullshit. But I also want to know that they are human. And if they are human, how do they manage the little hiccups along the road? Because I don't want to hear that they don't have hiccups either. I don't want to know that, J-Lo and Angela Bassett and Jada Pinkett Smith are so perfect they don't fart ever. I want to know. I'm not saying I want to know all the gory details, but how do you manage those things? How do you manage the days that you don't feel so great? Yeah, we can talk about the issues when the issue, is an issue. When it's a small thing that you're kind of just trying to brush aside because you got other things to worry about, how do you manage those things? How do you come back to those things and talk about them so they don't become an issue because they're festering in a corner somewhere? Let's talk business for a second. All right, so Warren Buffett is the guy to go to when it comes to wealth management. Great. What mistakes did you make? How did you figure out what to do? Did you become a student of life and pay attention to what was working and then try and figure out how you could replicate that working aspect so you could always determine how to get that result every time? Did you use your life like it was an experiment? How do you replicate the result that you got the first time? How do you duplicate? How do you do it again? How do you make sure that it wasn't dumb luck the first time you made $1,000? How do you make sure you can do it again every time? How do you set yourself up for those things? How come we don't teach our kids how to pay attention to those things? This is what I mean by window shopping success. Yeah, Tony Robbins, he did half the work for us. He went and interviewed all the people that were successful, and he wrote tons and tons of books. But reading the book doesn't help me implement in my life, because some of us will make excuses like, oh, but their life is so different from mine. How could I ever get that kind of a result? And some of us would be like, oh, they had it given to them. They didn't have to work for nothing. I have to work for everything, so it's not applicable to me either. But instead, how about someone who can teach the practicality of it all? I'm just curious. So, you guys, I want you to think about this. All of your idols, why are they your idols? And when you see the success, do you see the good, the bad, and the ugly? Do they talk about it? Because I want to know about that. Kobe Bryant had a great career until that first snafu where he stepped out on his wife, and that became public knowledge, and everyone was like, oh my God, he's terrible. And then he went on to fix the situation. He made it up to his wife, I hope, from what I see. I mean, this is all hearsay at the moment. I wasn't physically there. And the moment he and his daughter passed away, everyone was like, oh my God, what a legend. I can't believe this is terrible. And then when people started feeling sorry for him and celebrating his life, somebody somewhere had to speak up. Well, but he cheated on his wife, though. Okay. But he made up for it. He fixed it somehow. It seemed like they were happy at the end there. I want to know. I want to know the real story. I want to know that my mentors are real people, that they're not PR'd into looking perfect every time, that they have situations that they're really struggling with. It's part of the reason that I document everything that I'm talking about. And I'm going to be honest, I don't tell you everything because I need a little piece of my life to be my life. But I'm going to tell you the things that I fucked up on and the things that I made mistakes on over and over again until it finally hit me that, oh my God, I'm the common denominator. I need to fix something. I need to change it. Life can be simple. It depends on how you look at it. And yes, you need mentors. You need someone to point out, that there's a better way, that there's an easier way, that there's a different way. But I don't want to window shop success anymore. I want to know those people are actually fulfilled at the end of the day. Yeah, sure, they got the house, the car, the money. What are the taxes like? Are they okay with all that? Do they need all that? Do they feel like they reach some kind of level, that they're happy all the time? Because there was once upon a time where people thought, living in a trailer down by the riverbank was this shameful thing. You shouldn't tell anybody about that because that means you're super poor. Guess what? That seems like a life goal right now, doesn't it? To have the bare minimum, just enough space to sleep, wash your ass, and eat, and then you travel the world and experience life. Now, nomad type of life, gypsy style of life is the thing to aim for. And it is beautiful, but it's also ironic. Once upon a time, fashion was that, you had to have clothes that fit you very well. And then, of course, skinny jeans came along and they became high waters. And the things that we used to get made fun of because they were hand-me-downs that didn't quite fit us, they were either too big or too small, suddenly became fashion. Why? Because we got tired of being made fun of. We made it fashion. Once upon a time, to have ripped jeans meant that you've had those jeans for way too long and you couldn't afford to buy a new pair. And guess what? Now they rip jeans on purpose and make you pay for it. Interesting, right? Back in the day, you had sweatshirts that, fit you really well. They were oversized or boyfriend size, whatever. And if you were a dancer, in order to have the kind of movement and ventilation that you wanted, you cut them in half. It was a style, but you were destroying. It was destructive. And that was the style. And now you can buy them half cut off like that because we made it fashion. See how the meanings of things change? And so success means that you could change your idea of success. For me, success means I feel good about myself every day. And I am happy to speak with the people that are in my life every day. And I have a set of people that I can lean on if I really need to. And I have enough food to keep me full every day. And I have enough money to treat myself if I wanted to, or save, one or the other. Either one is fine. And more than anything, I go to sleep with a full heart because I served and I received. And you know what? It makes me feel good to define my life on my terms. And I hope you do the same for you. Now, if you have any questions, obviously drop them in the comments below. I want to hear from you, but consider this. Yeah, I know. They're cool, they're photoshopped, they're cropped and PR'd, and they look perfect. But are they happy? And you know what? If they're happy, I want to know. And how do you know that? I don't want to trust the media. I want people that are in front of me, they can tell me, yeah, generally, mostly, they're happy. They're happy with their lives. They've done it on their own terms. They've figured out how to manage the people that aren't happy with their definition of life, and they're doing it anyway. That's what I want. Those are my mentors. I hope this made sense, you guys. I do love you, and I want you to go to sleep fulfilled every day. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.